If you have bipolar disorder, have you ever lost a gasket or burst into tears at the worst possible time? When it comes to regulating our emotions, yeah, we suck at this. And because emotional dysregulation is literally part of the disorder, calming down while we're dysregulated is even harder. Even when I know every tool in the book, when I'm in the moment, I can't always remember to use them. Sometimes I go from 0 to Patty, please shut the hell up in 3 minutes flat. And when I'm like this, I can't remember a single tool I'm supposed to use. But here's the good news. You can calm down when you're dysregulated, even if you have bipolar disorder. Today, I'm going to break down what emotional dysregulation means, why some of us get dysregulated more easily than others, and provide you with some tools to help you calm down when you're dysregulated. So, if you struggle with emotional dysregulation like I do, keep watching. I'm Patty, the girl with blue energy. I have bipolar disorder and I make videos about mental health and personal growth. So, what is emotional dysregulation? Emotional dysregulation means that you have trouble managing your emotions and how you react to them. You still have emotions like everyone else, but your reactions can be stronger, faster, or more difficult for you to control. Your emotional response might be bigger than the situation warrants, or it might be difficult for you to calm down from, or you might not be able to control your reaction once it starts. People with healthier emotional regulation still feel the same feelings as us. They still get angry, they still get sad, they still feel frustrated or overwhelmed. They just respond to those emotions differently. So they are able to take a pause, take a breath during these situations. They are able to calm themselves down during situations that upset them, and they respond in ways that fit the situation. Emotion regulation starts in childhood, so that's where we learn how to regulate our emotions. All children have tantrums from time to time, but children with emotional dysregulation handle their emotions differently. When most kids have a tantrum or get upset, they are able to calm themselves down and stop crying. They are able to self-soothe, and they don't have prolonged tantrums or crying because they're able to calm themselves down. Those of us with emotional dysregulation problems likely had issues back in childhood. So when we would have a tantrum or get upset, first of all, we would get upset a lot more easily about a lot more things. But secondly, we didn't have the ability to calm ourselves down. So we might cry and cry and cry and go on for hours until we eventually fell asleep. Or we might have more intense aggressive, throwing things, kicking things kind of tantrums. We also had problems with self-soothing, and we might hyperventilate or just get ourselves really worked up, and instead of doing things that calmed us down. And even if we had someone there helping us, patting us on the back, we still might have problems getting our emotions calmed back down. Here are some signs of emotional dysregulation. So the first one is impulsive decision making, and that can look like just having an overreaction to something, like your boss made you really mad, and instead of calming down or talking things over, you just throw your keys at them and say, I'm out of here. Or you're on the phone with somebody and have a fight, and instead of saying, hey, let me just call you back in a little bit, you just hang up on them. Those kind of decisions. Also, getting frustrated really easily over little things that get you worked up and you can't calm down. Feeling like your emotions are out of control at times, where they're running the show instead of you, or having a hot temper. Saying things without thinking about them. If you've ever just blurted something out, you know what I'm talking about. Not being able to pause before you open your big mouth. Mood swings and irritability is another symptom, sign of emotional dysregulation, but also a sign of bipolar disorder. Why do people struggle with emotional dysregulation? We have more sensitive nervous systems. Our autonomic nervous system can be more reactive. The autonomic nervous system is the part of the brain that triggers the fight, flight, or freeze response, and ours is a little bit more reactive. It can become more sensitive due to things like childhood trauma, chronic stress, neurodivergence, bipolar disorder, ADHD, autism, or anxiety disorders. This means your body and brain have been wired over time to respond to threats and alerts. This is why we may be more overreactive compared to other people. And if we also experience poor modeling of emotional regulation at home, such as parents yelling, fighting, chaos at home, we not only didn't learn proper emotional regulation, but we didn't have a safe place to practice it. Unless you've had a lot of counseling or training, you might not have any tools to help you control your emotions. There are a lot of things I've learned to do to help me to de-stress, like exercise, meditation, or journaling. But these things don't help me in the moment when I'm worked up or upset. Not like I can go tell my boss, hey, can I go outside and take a walk? Or I need to meditate real quick. You need tools that are practical that you can use in the moment to help you control your emotions. So that's what I'm going to get into next. Techniques to help you with emotional dysregulation. The first technique I'm going to give you is pretty simple. A lot of us with bipolar disorder are more creative, and I would venture that most people that have higher emotions are also more creative. So we tend to tap into the right side of our brain, which is more of the emotional creative side, and less of the left brain, which is the logical side. So tapping into our left brain when we're upset can help pull us into that more logical minded part of our brain and calm us down. So something you can do is do a left-brained activity. Now, a lot of left-brain activities are things like reading or solving a puzzle or coding something. Not practical, not something you can do when you're on your job and you're upset or your mother-in-law makes you mad. But you can do things that tap into your left brain by counting things. Like if you're in a room, start counting the things that are red or blue or whatever, start counting things. You can start alphabetizing things, but tap into that brain that's using your logical thinking side to help calm you down. Another thing you can do is deep breathing, and you can do this anywhere. So just practice taking in a few deep breaths. The focus should be on the exhale. So when you exhale, you're letting out all that stress and emotion. So I use this technique a lot. It helps me to blow off steam and to calm down. This is one I've been using for a while. I call it shake it off. And if you've ever seen an animal when they've been upset or startled, they will just shake it off. That's where this technique came from. And you're going to want to use this with one of the other techniques, but it is really great for helping you to calm down and to shake off some of those emotions. And for me, I use it a lot because I store stress in my body, so my shoulders will get tense if I get stressed out. So if I shake it off a few times through the day, it really helps. So basically, when you do this, you just want to shake your whole body, shake your hands. Like if you can't shake your whole body because you're going to be looking ridiculous, just shake your hands, and that will help let go of some of that tense emotions you have. The next one is the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 grounding technique. And I'm going to guess that some of you have used this before. I learned this one from my son, but I have also since learned it from a therapist. This method basically has you tap into all of your senses, and since you're using your logical side of your brain, it also pulls you over to your logical side. So between the two of bringing you back to your senses and using the logical side of your brain, it helps to balance you and get you out of that freaked out, dysregulated place. So this is how it works. You start by finding 5 things you can see. So you just look around your space and find 5 things you can see. It might be a coffee cup or a laptop or whatever. The next one is 4 things you can hear. So you just listen. What can I hear? A fan blowing, the furnace going. In my case, I'm constantly hearing police sirens going around. Number 3 is 3 things you can feel. So if you don't have a lot of things around you, you can feel your clothes or your shoes or touch something and feel it. And number 2 is 2 things you can smell. And that could be you can smell coffee, or you can smell your hairspray or something like that. And the last one is 1 thing you can taste. And if you can't taste anything, which my therapist said, just take a deep swallow and feel the saliva in your mouth, and that will help you to feel that sensation of tasting. This one is new to me. It is called the EFT tapping technique, or emotional freedom technique. And I'm going to be honest, I don't know a ton about this technique, but I am going to go over how it works. If you want to learn more about it, I encourage you to get on Google or on YouTube and do a search for EFT tapping or emotional freedom technique. So this is how it works. Think about something that's bothering you, identify it, and then give it a score between 0 and 10. So I'm going to go with, I feel really annoyed every time the police sirens go by my apartment when I'm trying to film. And I'm going to give that a score of 7. Then you create a statement based on how you're feeling and acceptance. So my statement would go something like this. Even though I feel deeply annoyed about the police sirens going by, I deeply and completely accept myself. So that's when you start the tapping technique. So you can start tapping and say your statement in your mind or out loud, depending on where you're at. So that's when you start your tapping. You're supposed to tap each area 5 to 7 times while you say your statement. So you start with the center of your forehead, tap 5 times, then the side of your brow, then the side of your eye, then under your eye, then your upper lip and under your chin, beneath your collarbone, and under your armpit. And I may not be doing that completely right, but I am trying to share the technique with you. So the last technique is the one that I use and use the most. It's one that I came up with on my own after trying several different techniques. And this is the one that works best for me, so I wanted to share it. But before I do, I want to tell you about a Michigan State University study that uses a similar technique. So I use self-talk to calm down. But there was a study from Michigan State University on using self-talk to regulate your emotions. And what they suggested was talking to yourself in third person. So either using your first name or the pronoun you versus using the words I. And the thought behind it is that when you use the third person, like your name or you, it kind of creates some emotional distance, and this helps you to calm down more easily. And that's what their research has shown from their study, that using this third person technique helps a lot of people. So instead of saying things like, why am I so dang upset today? You could say, why is Patty so upset today? According to their study, this does help people to calm down more easily if they talk to themselves in third person. Now, I don't talk to myself in third person. I talk to myself in first person, and it really helps. So what I do when I start feeling emotionally dysregulated, like I'm worked up about something, is I will start having these statements I say to myself. So mine looks something like this. They are usually positive, grounding, calming statements. So when I start feeling emotionally dysregulated, I will start talking to myself, and I will make these statements. They're usually positive, calming, grounding statements that might look something like this. I am strong and capable of managing my emotions. I am in control and able to calm myself down. I am okay. I can handle this. And I will just keep coming up with these statements. I usually combine this with deep breathing and shaking things off, and it usually works for me. These are a few techniques you can use to calm down and regulate your emotions, and I'm going to be really honest, these don't work for everyone, and they may not work every time. So if you find yourself even trying all these techniques and you still get dysregulated or blow up or lose your cool or start crying, what you have to do is just go easy on yourself. These are techniques you practice and get better at. They're not techniques that are just going to change all of your circumstances and you're never going to have an emotional outburst again. Part of managing bipolar disorder or anxiety disorders or any disorder is giving yourself some grace and self-love for when you do have problems with your emotions. We always are a work in progress, so just keep working on these techniques to help you regulate your emotions better, and over time you will get better at it. Thanks for listening, guys. I so appreciate all the comments I've gotten over the last week or so, and thank you to anyone who's just subscribed. If you're new here, please help me spread my blue energy by clicking the like button and subscribing. I'll see you guys again soon.